Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and once again, Ask a Herbert Erpaderp is upon us. Prepare for questions followed by answers. But first, I would like to direct your attention to a Kickstarter, one that will be particularly exciting for people interested in the Warsaw Uprising. This is Infamous JT's first set of 28mm scale models. I'm sure there are some of you who already know about this. I linked it in the Discord the other day when it went live. And it has actually funded already, which is awesome, but hey, there are stretch goals. So if you are interested in the Warsaw Uprising, you should go and have a look. I don't have much more than a passing interest in the Warsaw Uprising itself, though it is an interesting topic. I'm mainly interested in the Kubus or Kubus, or I don't know how to say that. You are probably not surprised. Let's just call it the armoured car. I think it looks really interesting, so I've pledged for that and a flamethrower squad, and I will definitely be having a look at both in video form when I get them. These will be in resin and metal, and sometimes I do find it kind of hard to get excited about resin and metal, but these look like they'll be pretty good. I know Jamie is very passionate about what he does, so I have no doubt that these will be of high quality. So go ahead and check it out and maybe consider chipping in a little bit towards reaching those stretch goals. Okay, on to the questions. Smoes said, have you ever heard of the game Crossout? I have, and I played a little bit of it with Danny, who really enjoyed it, but I lost interest pretty quick. The idea really appeals to me quite a lot, but the combat seemed to be the same every time. I would drive out in my car and pretty much get insta-killed by people with much better weapons, and progressing seemed to require way too much grinding for my liking. That's just the sort of thing Danny likes, I think. He likes to grind, but I really don't, so I stopped playing it. I might check it out again sometime though. Jihad Teppo said, favourite, Krauts, Ruskies, Yanks or Britbongs? Britbongs? That's one I've never heard. In what context? I think I'll choose a context for myself. Accents. Ruskies. Good strong accent. Done no justice by myself. The Big Boy said, I have an idea for a quick tips video, covering different filling techniques as well as maybe some obscure ones. Perhaps in the future though. That's a good idea actually. I did do the one with green stuff, and I also did that one about the Vallejo putty a while back, but maybe a more comprehensive and in-depth comparison would be a good idea. It'll probably take a bit of time and effort to put together of course, but it is on the list now. Along those lines, General Spade said, could you make a how-to or let's try on adding winter forest debris on miniature bases, like logs and things? For example, these Finnish miniatures. That's also a good idea, and I'm sure I can whip up something like that. It shouldn't be too hard really. Again, it would take me a little while to get around to it, but what I think I would do isn't too complicated. I'll try to describe it actually. You could put together the base as you might for a non-winter version. Choose some logs, either moulded resin or plastic ones or whatever, or just appropriately shaped twigs from the garden. Those should work just as well. Place them on the base in a way that looks realistic. If you're going to use grass, you would use dead colours like they've done on that base there, which seems simple enough. Then you would add any holes or footprints or whatever, and the final step would be adding the snow. This is something I've never done, so I'm not entirely sure how the various snow products behave. I would try adding glue to the upper surfaces where the snow would accumulate and on the ground where you want piles of snow, and then sprinkle it from above so that it falls on the base just like snow would fall on the real ground. That makes sense to me. I would then affix the snow with I guess a mix of glue and water and maybe dishwashing liquid to reduce surface tension. I think in most cases you would do this before attaching the model to the base. Unless they've been sitting there for a while, the figures probably wouldn't have snow piling up on them. Maybe just give them a light dusting or something like that. Hopefully that's helpful. I will give it a go in a quick tips video though, so keep an eye out for that at some point. Soon, trademark. On last week's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, IS2 said, will you ever enter any group build? I don't know. I rarely ever see group builds and it's not really something I'm interested enough in to go looking for. When I do happen across them, they're usually something that I'm just not really interested in doing or the time is almost up. I guess the main issue is it adds time limits to things which is conductive to rushing, and I prefer to work in such a way that things will be done when they're done and I'm satisfied with them. I don't really like to rush or feel like I'm being rushed. Top Bunk Productions said, I spot the new Warlord plastic Char B in the background. I am now sufficiently hyped for its upcoming review. You've probably seen the video by now, in fact I'm pretty sure that you've commented on it, and I hope it lived up to the hype. That was a really good kit to build, and I'd be happy to do it again. In fact, I will do it again when I build the German flamethrower version. Also in that video you'll have seen my glorious new pink cutting mat, which is almost as cool as the Sharpie 1 bis. People also noticed the Warlord mouse that was in bubble wrap on my desk while I was building the HMS Ark Royal. I didn't realise the label was readable. You guys are eagle-eyed. I need to be more careful and secretive about what's on my desk when I film. The mouse will be coming soon too. I'm kind of excited about it. Chud Chudsley said, "How do I get a girlfriend? I'm a nice guy, but girls don't like me, what do I do?" This isn't usually the sort of question that I get. People and relationships are complicated and not black and white like a lot of people sometimes seem to think. I don't know you, so that makes it even harder to even guess. And I don't really want to make harsh judgments, but here's a couple of ideas. The way you word your question makes it seem like you view a girlfriend as a goal or an object to be obtained. None of the women I know want to be thought of as objects or possessions, and they're not, they're people. You say that you're a nice guy, which, well, maybe you are. Maybe I've just been around r/nice guys too much, but maybe you should consider that you actually aren't a nice guy. I mean, if you need to state that you are, you might not be as nice as you think you are. Again, I don't know you, so maybe you're very nice. At any rate, being nice doesn't earn you anything. It's kind of the bare minimum, really. Being a decent person doesn't entitle you to anything. This goes back to women being people. They're not machines into which you put a nice statement token and sex comes out, nor are they NPCs that you just have to select the correct dialogue choices for. If you're being nice or doing nice things with conditions, particularly unstated conditions, are they really nice things? Your question kind of implies that you're looking for a guide or a specific method that you can be shown and follow to get a girlfriend. There isn't one, and anyone that says there is either lying or trying to sell you something. Or both. I'm no relationship surgeon, but my advice, which is kind of typical, is just be yourself. Unless you happen to be a dick, then maybe get some help and work on that, but be yourself. Have your own interests. Engage with the person and treat them like a person, and if you're interested in somebody, let them know. Don't expect your intentions to be known, and don't expect people to reciprocate your feelings all the time. They don't have to. Just like you don't have to reciprocate the feelings of others. Nobody is obliged to touch your pee-pee just because you said the nice words. Really, the one constant in the equation is you. Have a look at yourself. Be honest. Are you happy with yourself? What do you bring to the table? Why do you want a girlfriend? Are you desperate just to have a girlfriend, no matter who it is? That's not especially appealing to anyone, is it? I don't really know what else to say, and I think I'm mostly just rambling and making a bunch of assumptions at this point. I guess at least you didn't use the term friend zone, which is a whole nother thing. One that doesn't exist. What does exist is Discord with its miniatures channel. Let's have a look at some of the models posted there this week. I'm sure there are some that I've missed, so be sure to go there and have a look for yourself. There's been some interesting discussion there as well as the good work that I'm about to share. First, Ratto, who once again has posted a lot of stuff. There's some Infinity stuff, this moderator of Bakunin? Baconin? Bacon. He draws our attention to the fact that the base is a piece of 15mm M5 Stewart and some plasticard. And then there's this Sin Eater that was shown as a work in progress earlier. Then there's these 144th scale P40 Warhawks for Flames of War. These are Battlefront's resin and metal models, and they look pretty good. These here are forged in battle 57mm US AT guns for late war. Very shooty. This is a mech for Infinity, Lu Duan? It has a rifle and a flamethrower. Everybody likes fire. I guess unless it's been thrown at you, in which case it's not very fun. There's a couple more Infinity models. This is apparently the most OP robot in the game. A Rui Shi, and a Tiger Soldier. It looks like this soldier is kind of dancing, and I like that. Okay, so Ratto isn't the only one sharing his work, and there's some gaming tables and stuff that I haven't shown, but you can check those out for yourself. Some dude shared this image of his friend's model of the Yamato. This is really neatly painted. It looks very clean and very well done. Viking Modeler has shared a few very nice images. There's this Soviet biplane which is super neat looking, and apparently the rigging is stretched sprue. There's this Abrams, which was done over a weekend, which is pretty impressive. The gun barrel says, "All 'bout the bones." I don't know the context there, but I find it amusing. And then this car. I know this is a Subaru, somehow. The dust on this is really quite nicely done. Viking Modeler also has a YouTube channel, so if you would like to check out some of his stuff, I'll put a link in the description. Rubs-a-Lot is next. He's been getting into Star Wars Armada and painted up a bunch of teeny tiny spaceships for that game. Pew pew pew. If I were to play that game, I would feel obligated to make spaceship sound effects. These are really cool. Then along comes Timbo101 with his SU-33 Flanker D. The D. This model came second in a competition at Timbo's Model Club, and this is a great model. You did a really good job with this, and I really like the blue colours. They're really nice. Someone pointed out that it's nice to see military models that aren't dark green and grey, and I agree. Jihad Teppo's T62 is back with a bit more weathering. I think it looks a little bit more consistent now. Very good. What do you guys think? And finally, Punky Ryan has shared this Panther. His story says that it served in Normandy and had new replacement parts added at some point. Those parts are in red primer. He also shared this little FT that has been abandoned on the edge of a trench. This is a really cool little diorama. So that's all the models this week. Thanks to everybody who has shared. Excellent work as always. Keep it up. I can't wait to see what we've got next week. Before I go, I have another new patron, so here's a big thank you to Tor Eric Nygaard? Ratto, this is Ratto. Thank you for your support, Ratto, I appreciate it greatly. And thanks for sharing all of the excellent modelling work you do too. Do you want to be as awesome as Tor Eric Ratto? Head on over to patreon.com/Herbert Erpaderp, and for as little as $1 per month you can see my videos early, take part in polls and things of that nature. You could also do things like subscribing here on YouTube, following me on social media, and watching me live stream on Twitch. All of those things are certainly appreciated. Links to all of those things are in the description below. As always, I shall return soon, so until then, be excellent to each other and thanks for watching. Farewell.